What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back, guys. Predator Badlands, Hot Toys, Dek and Thea have now been revealed. And I gotta give you guys my thoughts on this because I've been talking about this all week, both the Collecting Weekly boys and the Wolfpack Wednesday guys, and it's here. But I've gotta tell you, my figure thoughts today are going to be spoilerific for sure. I can't hold it back. So if you haven't seen the movie, maybe hold off on this video until you've had a chance. But otherwise, stick around. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show. And of course, let's get into it.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Ben Thomas.
Go time! Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Okay guys, welcome back. So again, just a reminder, this video today will have some spoilers for Predator Badlands in it because it's difficult to talk about the figure and my objective feelings about this thing if I can't talk about what I thought it might come with and what I'm happy that it did come with. So guys, again, spoiler warning, I've been warned. Let's get into it here. So this movie, I gotta say, I think is now in the top 3 for me of Predator films of all time. I love, of course, the classic Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Getting to see that Predator for the first time standing up against a hulking man like Arnie was so crazy. And back then, you know, the Predator was very much a villain kind of shrouded in mystery, right? We didn't understand why it was coming to the planet other than to look for other predators to take their trophy as the #1 apex predator. And I always thought that was such a cool concept. And over the years, there have been other Predator films that I didn't hate, but I didn't love for sure. And my love for the series was starting to wane, I'll be honest, up until Prey. And Prey got me back into it. Seeing Nehru, you know, up against that feral predator, the intensity that that film just had overall, and of course the stakes, right? Like, how is this girl going to actually win? Didn't make any sense. So I loved that story and it got me right back into the Predator franchise. And then I saw the other Dan Trachtenberg film recently, the animated one, and I would say I liked about 2/3 of that film. The one story with the young man wanting to be a pilot, that was the one that kind of I didn't love, but otherwise the Predator piece of that film was cool as hell, and it set up so much for the future of a Predator franchise, including, you know, Utah Prime and, you know, really obviously a hierarchy in the Predator culture, and just poses questions. What does their civilization really look like? What is involved? And that's something that I really liked about Predator Badlands. They gave us more to the Predator story. Now, I know some of you out there are not going to love the fact that the Predator in this film is essentially a protagonist. But he's still kind of a dick too. He's still a predator by nature. He's still hunting his trophy, and there is an underdog story here that I really liked. Now, this predator, both as a figure as well as in the film, is a little undersized in comparison to most predators, kind of a runt of the litter. And in the film, we get a chance to have a feel for that. Now, this figure itself, let's talk about it, because this is going to still be an imposing presence in your display, to be sure. And one of the things that I was worried about this week when I was chatting with the Wolfpack Wednesday guys or the Collecting Weekly Tuesday boys was, what if Thea looks like shit? I was not worried at all that Hot Toys was going to make an alien figure look good, because they typically nail alien figures both in paint applications and look. And I'm not wrong. I think this looks freaking awesome for Dek, but Thea was going to be the piece that would either make or break this figure for me to a certain extent. And they did not disappoint. I think this is one of the better female likenesses I've actually ever seen in prototype form from Hot Toys. I think at most angles here in these Predator photos, you see her there. And I was rambling on this week, hoping that we might see swap out eyes for her, because in the trailer even, you see her Weyland-Yutani eyes when she's powered off as her kind of synth self. And when she gets her eyes turned on, she's back to life. And she's full of life, and I love that. And they nailed it. I think she looks great. The battle scar on her cheek there, of course. The weathering looks good. The hair sculpting looks really great for her. I actually really see Elle Fanning in the eyes, and they're of course movable, so you can get multiple looks. And because she's strapped to the Predator's back, obviously you're gonna want her to be able to look around. So I'm glad that they gave her that as well. I was worried she would end up being more of an accessory in the box and then not really giving her a lot of love And honestly, not the case here at all. Very impressed. They've even made her magnetically attachable to his back, which is awesome, and to his hand. So you can have Dek literally holding her in front of him like he does in the film before he drops her on the ground, right? Like, how freaking awesome is that? I really feel like they thought of a lot here. And I would also say that this is an earlier representation of Dek from the film. I believe this is his biomask, not his brother's that he uses at the end of the film. Of course, there's some notable absences here with the accessories as well, which tells me again, this is the earlier film representation of Dek, right? We get a chance to see his bow here, which you can collapse, which is cool, as well as the sword, which is also collapsible. Now, it doesn't look like they're lit. The blogger photos definitely make them look lit, but it's a paint application. So that's a little disappointing. I thought maybe they would do like a lightsaber effect sort of thing. But at the same time, I think for the display, it looks pretty good. And to be honest, he doesn't stick with his weapons for very long. I mean, he gets stripped down by that tree monster pretty freaking quickly. And so the accessories are great to have with a Predator because he's a freaking Predator. Let's also talk about this figure body for Dek, because this is a seamless look to it. Now often when we as collectors and YouTubers say seamless, we're thinking silicone bodies, right? And you know, silicone, for better or for worse, has sometimes a bit of a bad rap. Medical grade, silicone, people are worried they're going to crack and break in your displays if you pose them. Well, this is saying here that this is a soft vinyl material to give him the seamless look. So I wonder if that's a technology improvement or if they've had that in the past. Let me know, maybe on the Predator Feral one, maybe he's got the vinyl look in the areas that he is seamless. You guys can tell me in the comments below if you don't mind. That'd be sweet. But I think this is cool technology for this either way, and it looks good. Color looks really good. The paint applications look fantastic. I do really like kind of like the scaling on his arm and his upper thighs. His nails and hands look like they match the figure and are scaled well, so I think that's a win. The other thing they've given us here with this Dek figure is an interchangeable hairpiece, which I actually think is kind of going above and beyond for this figure, if I'm honest. When I was first flipping through the photos, I was like, oh, that's cool. The hair is kind of dynamic in a way, maybe thinking there's some wires in there that you could pose them. No, you can give it the full out, like, dynamic battle, like windswept back hair look, or the standard, kind of down in his ponytail. So that was something I didn't love about this Predator, if I'm honest. I liked the traditional look to the Predator, where it looks like he's got the dreads fully out, and I thought the ponytail did look a little weird. I also did think the character design for Dek looked a little derpy, if I'm honest, but because I liked the movie and I thought it was a badass story and I liked the characters by the end of it, I still kind of want to collect it, and it will be a unique Predator in the collection because, again, this should be smaller than any of the new scale Predators that we get, right? The Jungle Hunter 2.0, or that Feral Predator especially. Like, this guy's going to still sit quite a bit smaller in the display. Let's talk about the likeness for Dek here as well. That was one thing that I thought was really great about the film, was how good the CGI was. Like, his expressiveness in the makeup and the prosthetics was fantastic with the little bit of CGI that they mixed in there, in comparison to the past where, the Predators didn't have a lot of expression necessarily in their face. I thought it was a little weird to see his like mouth moving and talking and speaking their own language and stuff, but it does not surprise me that they have a language and a culture and more story than just being animals, right? Or just predators, because they have crafted armor and technology, because they have spaceships. If they have those things, there must be industry. There must be predators that are also engineers. There's also just got to be more to the culture than just the predators that go out. And that was actually something that I thought was weird about the Predator film, was that the father Predator was more willing to want to kill Dek to get him out of the family line than to say, well, maybe you'd be a better engineer or anything else. Nope, you're dead. That's it. You're done. We're unlifing you, as the kids would say these days. So guys, like, I thought that was a bit weird, but again, I still kind of want the figure by the end of the film. The question that I have for you guys is, are we going to get Deadpooled here a little bit? And when I say that, what I mean by that is, because this is an earlier representation of Dek from the film, is there still a chance that we get a different version of Dek down the line that has, that like snake monster thing that he carries on his shoulder at the end of the film when they're fighting all the synths, or the different biomask that he wears at the end, or some of just the other pieces that he adds to his equipment by the end to kind of level himself up as that badass that takes on everything, as well as the main big bad trophy. Right? So Are we going to get another representation here? Thea also, right? There's lots of the film where we see that her legs exist. They're even almost a character in the movie, but we didn't get the legs with this figure. So is there an opportunity to get another Dek that has him all decked out? And then the Thea legs as an extra accessory in the box, right? Give you a reason to buy two. It's almost like a Build-A-Figure. Maybe I hate that idea, I don't know. But also, Bud in the movie, right? The baby Bud. He's not here. And I would say that Bud was just as much of a trifecta team with the Predator as Thea was, right? I mean, honestly, again, when I go back to saying Predator, he says right from the get-go, he doesn't work with teams, right? The only reason Thea even gets to stick with him is because she says, well, I'm a tool. I'm not a person or a thing. Like you can use me, which is the only reason he even agrees to it. But then, of course, warms up to Bud throughout the course of the film. And I think Bud is such a main character. He's not only cute, but also, again, the whole reason Dek even survives. Let's be honest, right? If Bud didn't spit on him, that's it. And that was a twist that I was surprised I didn't see coming in the movie, but was welcomed because I thought that was a cool twist. The other piece here is that depending on how deep they go in this line, we may get Thea's sister as well, which has a very battle damaged look to her face. But I would say that if they've put the money into sculpting Elle Fanning, I'd be a little surprised if they didn't capitalize on that. Because really, it's just a little bit of different battle damage. And otherwise, they've got 50% of that figure already made. The android bits that are kind of sticking out the bottom are freaking sweet. The only thing that I hate about this, honestly, is the sand base. I feel like there wasn't even that much sand in the movie, if I'm honest. Maybe on Dek's homeworld because it was a little post-apocalyptic, but it just looks like a very standard base, but it will fit in most displays because of its size and shape. If you're a base displayer, I don't display bases most of the time anyway, so unless it's something that's really cool, like I would have liked to see maybe a deluxe version that had like some kind of monster head that you could stand on them, like a gargoyle base or something like that. But again, that would increase the cost. Now let's talk cost. They have put up at least 2 different SKUs for this, which is also, I think, a great option for collectors, right? If you don't care about having the Thea synth on the back and you just want the Predator, you can get the Predator for $345 on Sideshow, but the Dek and Thea a little more pricey at $405, which is in line, in my opinion, with a lot of the prices we've seen from other Predators in the past, right? We've seen it kind of anywhere from $300 to I think as high as $450 on that Samurai Predator. But let me know which one you guys are going to go with, because in my opinion, for that extra $60, I think having the full display seems that much more worth it. But if you're just a Predator fan, then I can understand why the Dek on its own would be appealing. Now, this isn't a limited item, which I do appreciate, so I feel like I've got a little bit of time to make up my mind on it, but I also did wait on trying to get the Feral Predator, and then it sold out, and it's been pretty hard to get since. So not to create FOMO, but like, again, if you loved this movie and you feel like you definitely need a representation, this is a damn good representation. At least all the accessories here make sense with the character. They both look good. Thea is a standout likeness, honestly. She's really good. I wouldn't be surprised if we get more from this line. I wouldn't be surprised if they give us another version of Dek, maybe another version of Thea, maybe Thea's sister. There's so much that they could still give us. Bud, her lower half, all the things. So guys, I'd be curious to see what you have to say now that we've had a chance to see this figure released. Tell us a little bit about the film. Again, this is a spoiler video, so if you want to post some spoilers in the chat, I will put a disclaimer in the chat there so people don't read comments without watching the video, of course, and get things spoiled. Because it's a cool movie, and if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Go and freaking watch it, and then give me your take. Not everybody loved it, including some of my best friends. So it is divisive, and we'll see how this lasts over the test of time, as well as what the future for Predator looks like. But Dan Trachtenberg has nailed it 3 times for me in terms of his direction of Predator. I'm excited to see what happens in the universe, and I think I'm gonna get this figure set. This is freaking cool. So guys, let me know in the comments down below. But if you liked the video today, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Wow, what a great audience. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
It's gone. It's all gone.